Did I mention how much I hate vampires?
Now wait, I hear you saying. Are we going through that same old song and dance again? We already know how much you despise vampires. Why the fuck are we going back?
Because it will not go away.
Doesn't matter that Stephenie Meyer hasn't written anything pertaining to cut their teeth on titles like D, along with other staples like Akira and Project A-ko. The film was an adaptation of a series of novels written by Hideyuki Kikuchi, who had a number of his other works adapted into anime films as well. Bit of trivia here, when Hideyuki first pictured what his main character D would look like, he pictured Phil Collins in the Don't Lose My Number music video. This is why authors don't get to make their own movies. We open the film with a very brief bit of exposition, explaining that this is the future and that mutants and demons exist. And guess what? That's the only bit of information we're ever given. And by movie's end, you will realize how those two sentences, this throwaway bit of exposition, actually raises more questions than it answers. We begin the movie proper with a young girl walking through the forest at night. And she walks, and walks, and walks, and walks. By God, they will make this movie feature length even if they have to pull a Jerry. You know you're in it for the long haul when you're getting Birdemic flashbacks in the first 2 minutes. So this nameless girl appears to be hunting dinosaurs? Wait, they didn't say anything about dinosaurs, unless those are supposed to be the mutants.
Oh, God, no! Oh my God, a werewolf!
Werewolves too? What in the holy hell happened on Earth that allowed werewolves, dinosaurs, mutants, vampires, and demons to exist on the world all of a sudden? What else you got, movie? You got Frankenstein monsters, creatures from the Black Lagoon? I'm sure there's a way to shoehorn those in too. And like a boss, our main bad guy bamps right in front of Pigtails here, looking and sounding like Henry Kissinger.
Permit me to introduce myself. I am Count Magnus Lee, at your service. And since you seemed fit to take it upon yourself to trespass into my domain, I must ask for bail.
A true story, Kissinger said the exact same thing to Reagan in '81. We cut to our first shot of our hero, D. No, not D as in D. Snyder, but literally D as in Sunny D. While not as pretentious as Prince changing his name to a symbol, I still feel the need to ram my fist down this guy's throat. Don't cut back to me. We need to establish the fuck out of the fact that that man is indeed riding a horse. This movie isn't even 80 minutes long, and we still need filler? Wait, how the fuck did that girl survive that encounter with Kissinger? I thought she died. Unless, are they supposed to be two different people? I mean, the hair's a little different, but they're wearing the exact same clothes, and they both use that same whip, and fuck it, I'll just call her Pigtails too.
I guess you're not that good after all. Now, surrender that sword! Please, sir, don't go. I apologize for attacking you without just cause. I had to make certain you weren't a coward like so many of the others. If you'll let me, I'd like to hire you.
Okay, so your plan was to wait seemingly days on end on a desolate road, attack anyone who looks like they can hold their own in a fight, demand their stuff under threat of harm, and if they can hold their own, you back away and say you were just joshing. Okay, why do you think this would work?
Don't worry, I can pay for it. I don't have much in the way of money, but I'll give you 3 meals a day, and you can sleep with me if you want to.
Done deal.
So, Pigtails convinces Sunny D to help and takes him to her home, where we also meet the oh-so-necessary little brother character who might as well have "I will be kidnapped in the immediate future" tattooed on the back of his neck.
You don't speak much, do you? Dr. Frink once told me that there are 2 types of men who don't usually have a lot to say. Men who are too busy planning something wrong to have time to say much, and good men who believe that actions speak louder than words and only talk when they have something worth saying. I have a feeling that you're the second type.
Wrong.
It's about here that we begin to realize how fucked up the setting is. If this is the future, then how come everyone lives in these stone cottages and Victorian houses? Is this like a post-apocalyptic future and humanity is just living in whatever survived? Well then, how come there's like robot horses and electric devices? I mean, it's not like Trigun where everything looked like the Old West because the planet they lived on didn't have any natural resources, so it made sense that buildings were made of stone and brick. But here, the planet looks pretty lush. Even electricity looks like it's widely available. Additionally, why are people using horse-drawn carriages when combustion engines are readily available? And how come everyone dresses up like it's the 18th century? Maybe those are like remnants of what was before whatever came down and wrecked the world's shit, but I refuse to believe that frilly shirts and brooches survived whatever happened, but plain old t-shirts and jeans went kaput.
You see what I mean about that opening bit of exposition? This is the only film I've ever seen where if they hadn't explained anything, the movie would make much more sense.
Miles Edgeworth corners Pigtails here and offers to help by hiring more vampire hunters for her if she in turn gives up that ass.
Look, I'll even forget the way you insulted me the other day. If you're real nice to me, Listen! Everyone! Doris Lang is contaminated! She was bitten by the Count!
Alright, how the fuck does Miles know that Pigtails was bitten by a vampire? Lucky guess? Now I know who to take on my Vegas trip.
So how's it going, kid?
Huh? Greco.
It looks like that farmer I talked to was right.
Right? Right about what?
You know very well what I'm talking about. The incident with the Count. He bit you, didn't he?
So what's that to you?
Hey, calm down. Not so loud, huh?
Oh, I see. He talked to a farmer that we haven't seen, nor will we ever see, and he conveniently told him that Pigtails was bitten by a vampire. Pick your poison, ladies and gentlemen. Plot holes or sloppy writing.
Sunny D offers the town mayor to kill the head vampire Kissinger to save Pigtails from banishment. The 3 retire for the night at their farmhouse.
And what's gotten into you, pray tell? Your behavior has been, to say the least, a bit odd of late. Protecting a girl you hardly know, having man-to-man talks with her little brother. You're not in love with her, are you?
You're out of line.
Oh, yes, I forgot. She did offer herself to you, didn't she? But all you're interested in is exterminating vampires. Killing, bloodshed, and destruction. That's your destiny.
Wow, I thought I was the only one who had a disembodied voice telling me that my destiny was bloodshed. Small world.
Tell me about this vampire.
Count Magnus Lee. He ruled here before the village was built, but he hasn't lived here for a long time. Then 2 years ago, we saw lights in his castle. That's when we knew he'd returned. No one knows for certain how old he is, but it's been said he's lived for over 5,000 years.
Would somebody please get me Game Boy? I am so bored.
What's Kissinger doing here? Does he have nothing to do? What is he, a member of the Volturi? Why is it that vampires, when they're not stalking young women's flesh, are just putzing around their castles doing nothing but stare off in the middle distance like they're listening to Dark Side of the Moon?
All I need now is KFC Famous Bowl.
Sunny D senses that Kissinger's minions are on the prowl, so he decides to whip out, "Oh my god, what's wrong with your face? Hand?"
You know what? I don't know what's wrong. The movie never explains what the fuck is going on with that dude's hand, and it's not like it just appears every once in a while. That's the thing that constantly talks to him all throughout the movie, and it helps him out during battle. I think we, the audience, deserves to know what in the holy hell is in that guy's hand. This is the biggest middle finger a movie could possibly do to the audience.
You want explanation for the face hand? Fuck you! You read book!
Not sure why I gave the film a Middle Eastern accent.
In any case, it seems Sonny D has a formidable fight ahead of him, as the likes of David Bowie are not to be trifled with. Sonny D, I think, has the upper hand in the fight, but I can't really tell because half of the shots in this scene are so impenetrably dark that anything could be happening here.
I once was told of a mutant who could twist space around him, and now it seems that I've met him.
Wow. That is an incredibly powerful, useful ability to have. So powerful, in fact, that David Bowie never uses it again. Fuck me, this is a dumb movie.
Sonny D just shirks off the attack, revealing that he is a Dampier, half human and half vampire. He tells Bowie and Kissinger's bitchy daughter to go back to him and tell him he's coming, because the element of surprise is for pussies. Fuck you, physics!
Guys, I just realized something. Sonny D is in a castle fighting monsters of both mythic lore and science fiction, all in the hopes of slaying an evil vampire. This is Castlevania.
And true to Castlevania design, Sonny D just kinda bumbles around the castle until he winds up in the catacombs. God, those were always the worst levels in the game. Unfortunately, he didn't level up enough and falls victim to a trio of snake women.
We haven't killed a human in ages. We must drain him slowly and savor the taste. We'll drink his life force till he's dry. Bone dry.
You know, if food for you three is that rare, why the fuck don't you move? What are you doing, waiting out your lease?
With Sonny D in the clutches of the snake women, Kissinger has Pigtails kidnapped and brought to him.
Damn heel. Then that would mean that one of his parents was one of you.
Yes, that's right, my dear. One of the nobles had a tryst with a village girl who later gave birth to him. He's what you might call a half-breed. Just look at them. It's really quite exciting, don't you think?
No! You've got to save him!
Why? I am bad guy. That is quite opposite of what bad guy do. Now come, you shall serve me schnitzel.
Sonny D finally remembers that he's half vampire and proceeds to wreak all kinds of shit on the snake women.
No matter how you may deny it, you'll always show your fangs in the end. It's in your blood, after all.
That's quite enough.
Why do you refuse to accept what you are? It's pointless, you know.
I warn you, another word and I'll slice you off.
Very well. My lips are sealed.
What the fuck are you? I know I covered this shit already, but that just bugs the crap out of me. It's a face in a hand, and no one thought the need to explain this. I mean, this is like if in Star Wars, they didn't explain what the Force was. Okay, bad example.
Now free from their serpentine clutches, Sonny D is able to save Pigtails and escape the castle. Which is fucking unbelievable because not only did he have no clue what room she was being held in, he couldn't have possibly known that she was kidnapped in the first place.
You've created a time paradox.
Bowie doesn't take Sonny D's escape well and vows to find him no matter the cost.
If you're not my executioner, what now?
He said to use this against the vampire hunter. Do you know what it is?
Yes, the candle's light. or the smell of its incense will paralyze anyone with vampire's blood in his veins. That's interesting.
Okay, so they have surveillance equipment, but everyone dresses up like an 18th century poof. I've seen more congruent timelines at steampunk conventions.
Okay, so the third act comes in at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so if you feel like I'm rushing things, it's only because I'm trying to keep pace with how fast things are moving. Bowie takes the candle and kidnaps Pigtail's little brother to try and coax Sunny D into fighting him, but the fight goes apeshit fast when the candle doesn't work, because somehow Miles Edgeworth got his hands on the real candle and uses it to nearly kill Kissinger's bitchy daughter. But he's shot to death before he can finish the deed by Sunny D and the little brother. But then Bowie shows up again with the real candle he lifted from Miles and seemingly slays Sunny D, but then his hand resuscitates him.
Again with the fucking hand. I'm this close to losing it, guys.
So David Bowie, pissed that Kissinger hasn't fulfilled his end of the bargain and turned him into a vampire, tries to kill him before he could wed Pigtails, but is tossed around like a rag doll before promptly getting his head exploded.
Man, if only he had the ability to warp the space-time continuum around him and avoid shit like that. That would have been useful.
Kissinger is about to mack on Pigtails like Kissingers are wont to do, but Sunny D finally pimps in and slays the main baddie. And true to Castlevania form, now that the Lord of the Castle is dead, the whole building crumbles in an earthquake. And we end on Pigtails and her little brother waving Sunny D goodbye.
The fuck was that shit?
I don't think I've ever seen a film so incomprehensibly fast-paced as Vampire Hunter D. I'll admit the movie can have its moments when the eerie scenery and music are able to breathe and create a nice atmosphere, and for the time the voice acting isn't half bad, but the story's refusal to explain one goddamn thing or let itself be told at a natural pace just fucking undoes the whole thing.
This is one of the most maddening sits I've ever had to go through on this show, and it's easily the worst standalone adapted anime film I've ever seen. But maybe they did better on one of Hideyuki's other novels. Till next time.